Okay guys, we have a chance to work on a Emtek knob. This is very common for older Emteks. This is a very heavy brass knob. There's pretty much two things that can go wrong with these. I'm sorry about the noise in the background, but they're pressure washing a house across the street. But the two things that can go wrong with this is the latch will break. That's a common replacement item. This is a copy of a Baldwin knob. Baldwin's, what we're about to do, Baldwin's don't have as big a problem as the Emtek does. And what happens is you will walk up to the door and you will not be able to turn the inside thing. When I got on site here, it would only turn about to there, about halfway. It wouldn't go fully into the unlock position, which meant the homeowner couldn't turn the knob to get the door open. When you went outside, you turned the key, but it would not turn to the left. It would only turn to the locked position. So no matter what happened, you were unable to get the door open. Luckily, I was able to get it open one last time, and I kind of freed it up. But this lock is in the what you would say the final stages of when it really needs to be totally repaired. So we are going to go ahead and pre-repair that. Now, if this is on the door, you need a hex wrench on the inside using a 3/32 looks like, or 5/64 Allen wrench. Some of them are metric. The earlier ones were metric, so it could be metric as well. But come from underneath, unscrew your screw just a bit, and your knob will come off. This groove is supposed to be facing down when you put this back on the door, and your set screw is supposed to be facing down as well, so it does not collect dirt. So make sure when you put this back on the door that groove is facing down. And once that's off, you unscrew it by turning the whole rosette, and eventually it will unscrew, revealing the screws holding it on. And once you back those screws off, you simply pull it off like this. Once you get it off, try to turn it here and here. You can feel it's not really doing what it's supposed to do. It's not turning all the way. So we're going to go ahead and take this apart. Another thing that you can do is take the key and pop the outside thing apart, but I'm not going to do that because that kind of gets off into a little bit touchier thing. Now you will need I use contact cleaner because it's much safer. You can use a brake cleaner or anything that will clean the locks out, and then you're going to want to follow it up with a lubricant. So I'm going to take a retaining ring plier here, pop this off. Now these really are not meant to be serviced. Emtek is very ticky about sending out repair parts. I don't believe they're a company that's real keen on you trying to repair their stuff, but that is too bad because that is part of our job description. Alright, once that's off, we're going to be very careful. We're going to slip this open, slip this off. You'll see a spring underneath. Make sure you have everything lined up the way it's supposed to be. I usually just set it out kind of in a where it is. You want to make sure that those notches go back in and everything goes back in correctly. We look at our spring and we can see the spring is still good. It is not broken. That's another common problem with these, is the spring will jam up on you. So we're going to pop this spring off, remembering which way it goes. I remembered my keyway is at the top here, so up and down. It goes to the left. We're going to go ahead and pop that spring off. Keep it, set it down in the same position you pulled it off. And at that point we can get to our mechanism that is causing the problem. And if we look at it here, we will see just how gooey it is. So what happens is this goo is causing a problem here. Watch. Look at that. It is solidified. And that is exactly what causes the problems with these locks, is this gets too solidified to use. So what we're doing here is we're just taking the lock to that point and then going to use something and just scrape off our goo. Now You can do one thing if you have trouble with one side or the other. If you'll notice, oh, gross, look at that. All that's just solidified goo, and we're going to come in with contact cleaner here as well. Clean that up some. As soon as I get the lock boogies cleaned out here. So once you get to this point, what happens also with these is these ramps kind of get, I guess you could say, wonky. The ramp here and here, because when you turn the key, it rides up that ramp like so. And it only does it, it only really affects the one side. So if you're having a bunch of problems with it, you can take this out, flip the ramp upside down, and put it back on. And I've found sometimes that cures the problems for another extended period of time. In the meantime, let me get these lock boogies off and spray it down, and then recoat it with something. So I'm gonna grab a towel here, one of my old handy wipes from Loctite. Use cleaner, just get all of it off, and then we're gonna recoat it. It is not doing anything effective the way it is. And I'm getting just as much as I can off here. A little bit can stay, because once I put in other lubricant, it'll make it slicky. So it just depends on how much you want to get it off. And I'm going to get most of it off. Most of this old anyway. Look at that. It's just caked in there. Okay, once we get that off and cleaned up well enough, put it back together, and you should be good. So what I'm going to use on this one, since it's a little bit heavier lubricant, is this Ultra Lube, because it's a little bit heavier, stays a little bit better. It's good for internals and locks. You can use LPS1, you can use Tri-Flow. Tri-Flow would be a really good one too, because it's so slicky. You can see I'm just going to scrape that off a little bit better. And we're going to address our attention inside here real quick, because in addition to the outside, there is going to be caked up boogies on the inside as well. So we just want to get kind of the bulk of it out. And we'll go ahead and spray this down in there. Finger the hole so that it gets it in there, and hose it down with that. So now we are putting it back together. So we're going to, I had it flipped this way. Look, I didn't get, oh, I missed a part here. Let me scrape this off. Now if you do this to yours and there's some kind of broken part in there, like if this is, you know, one of these angles is sheared off, I've seen them where they're just broken completely right there. That is something you are going to have to try to take up with Emtek. Just remembering what I said, that they do not willingly send out parts for locksmiths. So you're on your own there. At some point it would end up being a replace issue. And several companies make these. Emtek, Baldwin still makes one. They're all keyable to a the same key. So I'm going to get my spring, put it in here. I'm trying to remember which way it went. I believe we go put this here, and nope, it went let's see, which way did it go? It goes this way. Rewinding a spring is a little touchy sometimes. Oh, come on. I'm gonna move the door around here so that I can work. Sorry. Okay, let's try that again. We're gonna hold this side, I believe, is gonna go, yes, in this channel. So we need to guide it this way, keep going, keep going. Haha, haha. One more time now. Need 3 hands to do this. May have to go the other way, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Stay down, stay down. Stay down. Nope, you didn't stay down. You're on your own on this part, guys. This is basically just like respringing a spring. Let's go from this direction and see if it works. Push it down in the channel. Let's go this way. Maybe it'll be easier to coil. Yeah. Oh, no. Where'd it go? Get up there. And wrap it around the leg here. There we go. Okay, spring is resprung. Let's go ahead and oh, that's just disgusting, right? Alright, one more hose. And when we put this back on, we've got to get it. See how the spring's kind of leaning this way? We have to make sure the spring, that this goes in correctly. So I'm going to push the spring this way. Check the alignment of it by pushing in underneath here. And we looking good. So get our clips. Really, the only specialty tool you need for this is the retaining ring clip pliers. But you should have these anyway if you are a locksmith. Must-have item there. Alright, we're going to check it. It is locked. And one more hose down the hole here. And be sure and coat your inner spring. And that is it, y'all. Should be good after that. When you're putting it back on the door, remember, have your keyhole up and your notch on the inside down. And you want to align it so the thumb turn slides in, and we're going to check it here. Oh, much easier, much better. Of course, check it with your key. And I'm just going to check our spring here to make sure it is correct. It is. Make sure our spring here, see how the legs went down behind the spring. I'll make sure that's correct. And you're good to go, because the little notches is what pulls the spring. So those definitely need to be correct. Alright, and then once you put it in the latch, it should work fine. If not, I will follow up at the end of this video, but we should be good to go. Oh yeah, spray your inside, wipe all this off with a paper towel, put it back on the door, and you are good to go. Thanks for watching, guys.